Okay, thank you very much. So continuing our presidential guest series, it's my pleasure to introduce Congressman Will Hurd from the state of Texas to address us on his quest to be our next president. Congressman.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you. Y'all really are nice up here in New Hampshire. The way we started down in Texas is howdy. And what I was hoping to do, Mr. President, if it's all right with you, just tell y'all, who's Will Hurd? Many of y'all have never heard of me. Some of y'all have not seen me. And maybe tell a story or two about who I am. And it starts, I'm a mama's boy. I was the baby of 3. I had messed up teeth as a kid. My head has literally been this size since I was 4 years old. My mom has the evidence, right? And my last name rhymes with nerd. I probably shouldn't say that out loud because someone's gonna use it against me. And I wore a size 14 shoe when I was in the 5th grade. And I had a speech impediment until I was in high school. And I got made fun of a lot. My mother was the only person that could understand me. And that is where, because of those experiences I had as a young kid, I can't stand bullies. I've gotten in a lot of fights in my age as I've grown up. Now I'm 6'3", 235 pounds, and know the CIA kick, right? Nobody messes with me now. But that experience formed, at the core of who I am. I had the opportunity in high school to get exposed to robotics. Blew my mind. Decided to study computer science. Did that at a little place called Texas A&M University. And then while I was at A&M, I got exposed to this dude who told the most amazing CIA stories. And I said, I want to do that. And when I graduated at 22, I joined the CIA. I used to say I did 2 years at the super secret CIA training facility called The Farm, but now it's on Google Maps. And I wish, Mr. President, I wish that was a joke. It's true. It's true. It's on Google Maps. I did 2 years in India, 2 years in Pakistan, 2 years in New York City doing interagency work, and then 1.5 years in Afghanistan where I manage all of our undercover operations. My job was to prevent terrorist group like Al-Qaeda from having attacks on our homeland. My job was to stop Russian intelligence and Chinese intelligence from stealing our secrets. My job was to stop nuclear weapons proliferators from sneaking dirty bombs into our country. And one of the experiences I learned there, we didn't have the option to say, hey, boss, can't do it. Don't have enough time. Don't have enough money. Don't have enough resources. When lives were on the line, we had to go out and do our jobs. I also learned from some of my mistakes I made. My first tour case officer, first year being overseas, I was in a country that I can't tell you all about, because if I did, I'd have to hurt you, and I don't want to do that. I'm running for office. And when you go meet someone who's giving you secrets, you need to make sure you don't have surveillance, the equivalent of their FBI in that country that you're in. And I'm in a Toyota Tercel. It's a little small car. Turned down an alley which I thought was going to be devoid of people. And as I turned down that alley, there was 1,000 folks in this alley selling their wares. There was pack animals. It was packed. And I'm driving my little Toyota Tercel 4 miles an hour. And a woman walks in front of my car. I mash my brake, roll over her flip-flop, drag her foot across the concrete, bust her toe wide open. Blood's everywhere. She looks in the car, realizes I'm not from around there, and starts screaming bloody murder. I have hundreds of people banging on the car, shaking the car. Now, the CIA teaches you in a situation like this to get off the X. The X is the location where something's going down. And the last place you want to be when something's going down is where it's going down. But my little Tercel wasn't going to be able to get me out of this situation. I had a weapon, but not enough ammunition for this situation. So I did what they least expected. I got out of the car. I unfolded my 6'3" frame out of the vehicle, and everybody was shocked because I was like twice the size of everybody else. I knew some of the local language, but not good enough for this situation. So I said, does anybody speak English? and I will remember this kid's face for the rest of my life. He parts the crowd of people like he was swimming, raises a finger in the air, and says, "I speak the English." I said, "Sir, where's the closest hospital?" He's like, 4 blocks away. "Fetch me a rickshaw." Rickshaw is like a car with a carriage. I took some money in my pocket, gave it to the woman, and I told the rickshaw driver, "Take her to the hospital immediately." She gets in the rickshaw, my little translator gets in the rickshaw, and it drives away. And the crowd starts applauding, smiling. They're patting me on the back. One dude even helped shove me back into my little car. The sea of people part. I'm driving away, and I'm looking in the rearview mirror, and everybody's waving. And my heart is beating because I thought my mother that day was going to get a phone number no mother ever wants to get. And I tell that story oftentimes to remind people that there are thousands of men and women every single day and every single night putting themselves in harm's way in order for us to enjoy the liberties and the freedoms that we enjoy here. And this is what has made America a great country. These are the things that we have to be able to preserve, and it's no longer a fait accompli. We are facing generational defining challenges. I've seen it up close. I've seen our enemies when I was in the CIA. Then I started a cybersecurity company. My job was to break into banks and steal their money. Guess what? We always got in. We always got in. In an increasing world where our digital footprint is increasing, we got to be able to defend it. The bad guys are trying to get us. So I saw our enemies up close and personal there. Then when I had the opportunity to represent my hometown of San Antonio, Texas in Congress for 6 years, I saw our enemies too. Now, back then, nobody thought a black Republican was going to win in a 72% Latino district. I hadn't lived in my hometown in 15 years. I had 0 name ID. We did a poll, and one person knew who I was, and they probably got it wrong. They thought I was somebody else, right? The way we won, eventually. Now, this was at a time when the Tea Party was a thing. They were for my opponent. This was at a time when the NRCC, y'all know who they are, was supporting my opponent, but I was able to win because I did the basic things. I showed up to places. I talked about putting food on our table, roof overhead, and making sure that people we love being healthy, happy, and safe. This stuff isn't rocket science. It's just old-fashioned hard work. And in that experience, representing a district that was 50-50, 50% Republican, 50% Democrat, here's what I learned. We're better together. Way more unites us than divides us as a country. But we focus on those things that divides us. Y'all been an example, to be frank. Even up in the North Country, they were talking about y'all this week, about passing a budget. It was quick. I'm pretty confident, again, Senator, I don't think folks in the North Country talk too much about what happens here in Concord, but they were talking about y'all solving problems together. Right? Y'all are a model for the rest of the country. And this is what we need to bring in. This is where we need people that are running that talking about that vision of how we're going to deal with the Chinese government that's trying to surpass us as a global superpower. How are we going to deal at a time when inflation is persistent and new technologies like artificial intelligence are going to impact every single industry? I know that because I've served on the board of the most important AI company in the world. This is coming, not in 5 years or 10 years. It's coming in 2 or 3. We have to be ready. And we have to make sure our kids are ready. All of y'all saw that report this week. 13-year-olds in math, science, and reading, the worst scores this century. That's unacceptable. There's no way that we're going to ensure the rest of this century stays the American century if we don't make sure our kids are getting a world-class education regardless of their age or their location. These are the things we should be talking about. I wish more of our elected officials did things like y'all and work together. Sorry, y'all is the plural of you. I always forget where I am sometimes. Tyler, how much time do I have? 30 seconds. So I was going to tell one more CIA story, but we'll have to save that for next time. We are in complicated times. And the way you solve and succeed in complicated times is with common sense. My name's Will Hurd. Thanks for taking time, and I approve this message.
So, Congressman, this is our first in the nation license plate. We would be honored and proud to have you sign it with some of the other folks on both sides of the aisle running for president, and we will proudly display it in the Secretary of State's office.
Awesome.
So, and since you're going to be spending some time in New Hampshire, you get to do your homework with my calendar.
There we go. Well, that's awesome. Now, I need a better map. So if y'all have that, if anybody has maps in addition to the calendars, let me know. Awesome.
Google works here. Thank you very much.